Hey Canucks fans, let's talk about Jim Benning's Super 7. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. And this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Wednesday, February the 19th. Lots to get to today. First and foremost, thank you for your prayers, your messages, your greetings, your warm thoughts. As you may have seen on Twitter yesterday, my Aunt Ritzy, the one I've been talking about for the past few days, battling cancer, she did indeed pass away yesterday morning. I'm grateful, for the time I got to spend with her on Sunday. I'm grateful she's in a better place now, reunited with her husband, with her parents, and with her three brothers, including my late father, Larry. So once again, thanks for your prayers, and rest in peace, Auntie Ritzy. She was a big Canucks fan, like much of the Emo family, and I'll certainly miss you, Auntie Ritzy. I love you. And thanks again to all of you for reaching out. I really appreciate it. Probably won't be able to respond to every message on Twitter individually, but I want you to know that I did read all of them, and I appreciate all of you very much. So thank you once again. Tonight, the Canucks host the Minnesota Wild. The start of 5 games where the Canucks should be able to do some damage until the end of the month. Sure, they got Minnesota, then Boston, a tough game on Saturday, and then they go on their Eastern Canada road swing. So you got, can't remember the order, but I think it's Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto. No, it's Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal. Whatever the order is, it's 3 winnable games as well. Actually, now that I think about it, I think Toronto's at the end. So I think it's Ottawa and Montreal first. Regardless, between Minnesota, Ottawa, Montreal, those are 3 games they should win. Toronto's 50-50 and Boston might be tough. So the Canucks should be able to pick up some points over the next 5 games by the end of the month. Tonight, Tyler Toffoli starts. He makes his debut for the Canucks. Looks like he's going to play on the top line with Pettersson and Miller, and it looks like he's going to be on the first power play unit. And after I recorded yesterday's vlog, we heard the news about Brock Besser and Josh Levo, but Brock Besser might not so much 3 weeks reevaluation, but the more bigger story is he could be gone for the entire season. They're saying 8 weeks. 8 weeks from the injury makes it 7 weeks from now. So, it could be, and it could be sooner than that, it could be later than that, but that's kind of the guideline. So the Canucks are planning indeed to be without him for the rest of the regular season, hence the Tyler Toffoli trade. They're planning to be without Josh Levo for the rest of the season. That was kind of iffy all along. So it sounds like the Canucks may be looking for at least one more forward to boast their ranks, so to speak. But yes, I'm excited to see what Tyler Toffoli can do tonight. Sounds like he's excited. He's kind of dodging questions about what's going to happen after this season, which makes sense. He's one who probably wants to focus on his first game and getting acclimated here first. But yes, obviously, it'd be nice to see him re-sign here and would make the return that we gave up more acceptable. And that's what I want to talk about today really quickly. Jim Benning, in his press conference yesterday, when asked about the high price you have to give up for someone like Tyler Toffoli, and talk about Tyler Madden especially, and losing draft picks. He talked about 7 players that he expects to be on the Canucks roster in the next 2 or 3 years. And he pointed out that that's 7 players, either draft picks or in Utica right now. And then he said, and then add them to the 5, 6, 7 guys that are young right now, i.e. Pettersson, Hughes, Gaudette, Virtanen, Besser, and Horvat, although he's getting a little older. Looking at all those guys, he's basically saying that 2/3 of the team in 3 years is going to be 25 years of age and under. And then kind of going with those percentages or those ratios, he also said that with these 7 guys that he expects to be on the Canucks in the next 2 or 3 years, these new young guys, that's 1/3 of the team, right? 7 out of 18 or 7 out of 20 roster spots, basically. So then I started to think about who are these 7. And I think 6 of them are obvious, and there might be debate over who the 7th one is. So I think up front, he's talking about our 2 draft picks from last season, last June, of course, Podkolzin and Höglander. And I'd put Cole Lind in there as well, because it sounds like he's making really good progress this year, and he could come up as a bottom 6 player next year. So let's talk about those. Let's say it's those 3 forwards: Höglander, Podkolzin, and Lind. Lind probably next season. I'd say Höglander, Podkolzin are still 1 season away. Then on D, there's Olli Juolevi. We're just waiting to see what he can do at the NHL level. Then I know they're high on Brogan Rafferty, although I think they're going to keep him in Utica this season. And then there's Jet Wu and Jack Rathbone. And those were the ones, if I had to pick, I think those, Jet Wu might be more of a second pair, third pairing guy. And then Jack Rathbone is really turning heads in college right now. And those were the 7 that I had in mind. There's other guys like Toni Uutinen on D, and there's other guys up front that are more long shots, maybe a Lockwood or a Gadjevich. But right now, if I was forced to pick 7, I would say those 3 forwards, Podkolzin, Höglander, and Lind, and then these D-men, Juolevi, Rafferty, Wu, and Rathbone. And when you think about each guy individually, you could build a case, especially for the forwards and Juolevi for sure and Rafferty, maybe not so much Wu and Rathbone, but you could build a case that those 7 players could be on the Canucks roster 2 to 3 years from now. I'm not going to break down every player, but we know that Höglander and Podkolzin were last year's draft picks. We know that Cole Lind was from a few years ago, the famous why isn't anyone taking Cole Lind? Then we know Juolevi is from the 2015 draft still, waiting for him to pan out. Wu's from a couple years later, 2017, I believe. And then, or maybe earlier than that, I can't remember. And then Rafferty is turning heads down in Utica, and then Rathbone was a few years ago as well. So a lot of, it's good. We worry about our defense right now, and I've talked about that in a couple of recent vlogs, what's wrong with our D. So maybe there is going to be a nice push coming from behind in the next couple of years, and maybe that makes one or both of Stetcher and Tanev, dispensable, because I think it's clear that we won't be able to sign both of those guys. Yeah, and it's interesting now. You have Stetcher, you have Tanev, you have Toffoli, you have Levo, and you have Markstrom, you have Virtanen. You have a lot of guys that are going to be UFAs or RFAs with not a lot of money to go around. This Tyler Toffoli signing just kind of muddles that even further. So Canucks fans, what do you think? When you heard Jim Benning, if you heard him say that, or now you're hearing it from me now, that he says there are 7 players that are going to be on the roster in the next 2 or 3 years, and he was he mentioned that in addressing the why you had to give up Tyler Madden. So again, let me know what you think, if these are the 7 that you have in mind or the 7 that come to your head. But again, mine are Podkolzin, Höglander, Lind, Juolevi, Rafferty, Wu, and Rathbone. So 3 forwards, 4 D. Let me know who I'm missing. Is Lockwood or Untinen, do you think is one of those 7? Or do you think I got it right on? I'd love to know what your thoughts are. And also, if you want, you can put down how long you're going to think how long it's going to take for each guy to make the lineup. Next year, if I had to, I'd say there's a good chance that Rafferty, Juolevi, and Lind make the team. And I think Höglander, Podkolzin are 1 year away, or basically, 2 seasons from now. And then same for maybe Rathbone and Wu, maybe 2 or 3 seasons from now. But would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, and reply, as always. Tonight, not at the game. It's Wednesday night. It's church night. The only Wednesday night I was allowed to skip was last week because of the Sedin's night. But tonight, I'll be watching the last 2 periods after my religious ed night. And I look forward to engaging with you on Twitter, both during the game, the late game, the 3rd period, and then after the game as well with my post-game vlog. So enjoy the game. Vancouver Canucks, Minnesota Wild, Tyler Toffoli's Canucks debut tonight. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Enjoy the day. God bless. Go Canucks, go.